Hi, this is Crafty, you're watching Rife, and this is The Itch.
Woo!
He walked over earthquakes every day, so his potential was explosive. From what his work rate demonstrates to his deviation from structure, he never lacked first place anyway. He'd been an underground force, waiting to blow for so long until one day it happened and they called him groundbreaking. In his town like a tram line, the best new thing by a landslide, and they always say they lost him in that earthquake, that he was never recovered. Some said they still saw his ghost, creeping through crevices concealed in ceilings, all enclosed from the outside world, so they couldn't even identify him. You couldn't see that the fault planes were just plain faults. After turbulent finance aimed to take off after taxing like plain faults, raised bold, undergrounded principles. When he was young, you want to give in? Cool. It's the taking part that counts. And now they told him giving's cool, but it's the taking part that counts. That's why borders widened, connections broke like countries defeated. That's why he watched the world crumble beneath him, ruptured its spleen in the rubble in pieces and structures depleted, admiring its colourful bleeding. See, it's amazing how we walk over earthquakes every day. But he walked arrogantly. There were things he could never see and would never surface, couldn't break through his surface, disturb his privilege or discomfort his conscience. So when their paths crossed, there was a friction, a harsh grip. For what consumed he became, so he changed his target, and that target also walked over earthquakes every day. But his earthquakes were the way he delivered his words late, the way his nerves shake. Just wondering when he would burst, weight constantly bubbling, he could never suppress it. His best bet was regret, and he could never repress it. There was damage beneath the surface you couldn't actually see, except for him. He avoided them in the cracks in the street on his lonely route homeward for the good luck omen that never came, linking avoidance to the lines, to the poison in his mind. He saw earthquakes in every crack in the pavement. His place in Western society like the standing ovations, talents ignored. He could only dream of a standing ovation, repressed by a system that couldn't stand innovation. So he could map earthquakes out. He could draw them, but he couldn't outline and evaluate them, explain them for 6 marks, calculate them for their seismic pressures or Richter scale rating. But he walked over them every day, and every grip he felt shaken. He just couldn't control them. So some said they were makeshift, but they rumbled on his shoulders, a continuous weight lift like dinner table shaking, conversation collapsing into nervous hands, making the plate shift, the spoon of volcanic drill in the soup like the magma spills, a destructive environment that fueled his satanic mills. He said it's always there, but people only ever see the surface shaking. It's only when the aftershocks are reverberating, so they can't observe the changes. He would run to the edge of the land to escape, to harbour his thoughts in peace, and only find the warring scenes of Normandy. And soon armies would arrive to reinforce his screams, seismic waves crashing in on his mindless state. You can't hide from pain. He walked over earthquakes every time of day, but he walked bravely, marched mindfully. His mercilessness made him humble, accepted the quivering flaws in his structure, and sometimes a metaphor doesn't do that justice. Sometimes you can't have all the answers, the formulas you recite perfectly, because if it's inside where the worth is deemed, why are they calculating all of his exterior flaws, beady eyes forming a necklace, choking all of his confidence out of it? It's not the journey, it's a destination where you're destined to prevail, the battle not war, but this war path's left tremors in its trails, because sometimes we make excuses for reality. Sometimes the metaphor is just convenience, and the metaphor becomes clearer than the very mirror it aims to reflect. And sometimes if you let them walk over you, your fears will become you. So what if I just said that I walk over earthquakes every day? Would you believe me? Or just keep walking?